This edition of Last Lap, featuring the MG Trophy Championship, is sponsored by College Motors, Rover MG specialists. Welcome to Donington Park for the opening round of the 2017 MG Trophy Championship. The trophy has three classes for 190, 170 and 160 bhp cars. Barry met up with Championship coordinator Pete McWaters to catch up on the new season changes.
Pete, 2017 season, first event, glorious weather and great testament to the Championship that we've got virtually a full grid.
Yes, we actually had 34. We lost one at the last minute. Mr. Croker was not quite ready in time. This grid does hold 36. It would have been nice to max it out, but 33 is pretty good.
Another bunch of whole new drivers coming to join the Championship as well, which is great news. And what's the changes this year?
Well, they've got 10 new drivers. Changes this year, basically we kept them to a minimum. The 160, the basic Class C car, is now running on 16-inch wheels, the same as the 170 class, and we've put them on the same control tyre. Makes them go a bit faster. The tyres are a bit more expensive, but they're a proper race tyre. So I would expect we'll see new class records for Class C this year because of that. In the wet, they're allowed to use the 17-inch Dunlop wet. What we've decided, a lot of the guys in the class above will chuck tyres away before they're finished, and the guys in the budget class can pick up tyres sort of second-hand, if you like, so they get handed down. So we saw that as a bit of cost saving for some of the new guys.
Simon, great to see you opening round of the 2017 MG Trophy Championship season, and as title sponsor of the programme from College Motors, just tell me first of all, how did you become involved?
We became involved when Richard Marsh asked us to sponsor his car, and I wanted to turn around and do that because I want my young lad to turn around and come up and race in the trophies, which hopefully this season he's going to do. So we've sponsored, this will be the fourth year we've sponsored one of the rounds for the MG trophies.
Just tell me a little bit more about what you do, area that you cover, and what you can supply.
We do new and used parts for any MG or Rover. We're passionate for people to try and keep them on the road for people. You know, we all know and recognise cars are getting older. So the second-hand market for us is solely on the best parts we can to keep people's cars alive and on the road and keep the MG Rover name going as long as we can.
And if people want to know a little bit more about you, is there a website you can visit?
Yeah, you can go to College Motors website and look up us there and either send us an email or give us a call, and we'll see what we can turn around and do to keep your car on the road.
Ollie, no stranger to the grid and in fact the racing, but a whole new class for you. Our viewers are used to seeing in the MG Metro Cup, but now you've changed to this, so how come the change?
I thought I'd just fancied a change really. I knew the trophies are quick and also very competitive, and it just felt like the right time to make the transition into the MG Trophy. So here we are. Qualifying went reasonably well. It's pretty much the first time I've driven the car, so qualifying was more of a test session really, but I think it's gone well. Qualified P7 in class out of 20, I think. So overall happy with it. Yeah, we'll see how the race goes.
Will Payne, 2016 champion. Great to see you back on the grid again, but we've changed classes this season.
Yeah, moved up a class to the 170s, 10 more brake horsepower to, yeah, it's going to be a lot more competitive, I think.
Certainly one of the most competitive classes in this championship. You've been out of qualifying, how was that?
Qualifying didn't go brilliantly for me because everyone was a bit bunched up, but yeah, I'll be middle of the pack for start of the race, so it'll be good racing hopefully.
Start of this season, obviously round one, but you're out last week testing and a bit of a disaster. What happened?
We just went to run a new engine in at Snetterton on just a public track day, taking it really easy, keeping to the inside of the track. Hit a little patch of oil and just slid sideways into the sausage curbs at Snetterton. Anyone that races will know they're really high, and it just flipped the car over, so we ended up with rolling 5 times and totally destroying the car.
So season about to start, we've got less than 7 days to go till this event and no car. So it's amazing, I'm now looking at this shiny machine, so it's been a busy week.
hell of a week. Dad has worked for, I don't know, probably 90, 100 hours this week. We got back Thursday afternoon after rolling the car last week and just literally set about building another one. My cousin came down from Scotland as soon as he finished work Friday. My uncles were coming round helping welding. Everyone's just jumped on the car and helped us, and then my dad's been on it all week and turned out a fantastic car. I've just been out and qualied it 9th. First time I sat in the seat was quali, so absolutely great job by all of them.
Here with the Carrot Racing team, pre-race 1. Paul Strether, a familiar face with the Clio. Our viewers will recognise you from all the on-track action you've had. What brings you here, and how is you associated with Jason?
This is my old MG ZR that I used to race in this championship a few years ago. I progressed through this championship into the Clios, and I helped Jason. I run the car for Jason basically, and prep the car and do all the maintenance.
Now, Jason, we had a pretty good season overall in 2016. Hopefully, going to have the same. We've got you for the full campaign this year.
Yes, hopefully, possibly might not make Scotland yet, but I'm sort of just looking at that date. But yes, hopefully going to do the season, and hopefully going to get up into the points with the front runners.
Jason lines up 6th position in Class A, 8th position overall on the grid, and Paul Strether was outright champion in 2010 when he managed to pit Paul Luty to the title. Chris Bray was 3rd. Picking up there on Mike Harris coming onto grid position. Qualifying today saw Ross Macker take pole position for this race, in car with Paul Savage. Doug Cole 2nd, Graham Ross 3rd, Robbie Walker 4th, Gary Wetton 5th, Jack Roberts heading Class B from Paul Luty, Class C Matthew Turnbull from Andy Spencer. Lights out, we are College Motors MG Trophy Racing on board with Graham Ross from 3rd on the grid. Doug Cole in blue is trying the outside line down to Redgate, trying to outrun Ross Macker. He hasn't managed to outrun Ross. They've both had very good starts, and we're on board with Doug on that outside line. This is brave here. Maybe he's going to leave the door open. It doesn't. Through goes Graham Ross into 2nd position and potentially off the podium, because Gary Wetton goes through into 3rd place. Wetton into 3rd. A cracking start. We've got the orange sun shields of the Class A cars, the yellows headed by Jack Roberts. The blue and green car, Paul Luty being challenged there by the number 4, the grey, red and white machine of Simon Byrne. Here we go, looking back from Paul Luty's camera. Very often the rear-facing camera is the only one to have on Paul's car, because he does take a lot of races. Graham Ross looks up the inside, the exit of McLean's, and trying to get the lead from the 73 car of Ross Macker, pole position man, and it ultimately a great line by Graham Ross, goes through, takes the lead. There is Paul Luty side by side now with Jack Roberts and challenging for the lead. So the outright lead is a cracking battle, so too is Class B. I dare say Class C, the 160 brake horsepower drivers having a terrific race as well. Luty though can't quite make it stick, so he's 2nd, loses 2nd place as well. And that really punishment for Paul being brave and trying the outside line down into the Roberts chicane didn't work for him, and he's down into 3rd place. Paul Luty though in the Dreadnought car, an absolute fighter as they cross the line. End of that lap, it's Graham Ross, Ross Macker and Gary Wetton in Class A. Problems for Joe Cruttenden. The 170s headed by Jack Roberts from Simon Byrne, with Paul Luty ahead of Andrew Rogerson. And a shout out from Andrew Rogerson, qualified 10th in class and up to 4th place already. Keep your eyes open for the white and black car with the fluorescent livery on it. Quick look back there at Thomas Butler in the 55. A little bit of dust being kicked up, but out front it's still the 92 car of Graham Ross. Doug Cole though is regrouping. Lost a couple of places on the first lap, and Cole is a man on a mission at the moment and looks down the inside line of Gary Wetton. That was really not going to be in doubt, was it, when Cole is on a mission? He goes through. David Heasman up ahead of John Booth in the number 50. Both Class C runners. David qualified in 3rd, John Booth in 4th position. John Booth, incidentally, a good name in motorsport, because there were 2 Booths back in the day racing Formula Ford 1600, Butcher Booth and Brolly Booth. Anyway, I digress. We go back on board as the cars tick off another lap and head down in towards Redgate, on board with the reigning overall champion, looking at the outside line of Richard Marsh. So Will Payne getting stuck in. Some very experienced drivers here. Payne 2nd year with us, won the 160 class last year. He's on the outside line, working hard, and I'm sure enjoying his experience of moving up. And this is the wonderful thing about this championship: joining the 160 class, move up into the 170s, and then maybe into the 190 class. And of course, it's it's a ladder, so you can stay with the same people, enjoy the camaraderie and hospitality, friendship of the championship, but have a different racing experience, I guess, year on year. They'll move here by Simon Byrne on the outside line, and trying to come through there was Andrew Rogerson, back with the 88 car. That is James Cole. We've got an onboard camera with James. Here we are, as if by magic, coming out of Coppice down the exhibition straight. Changes up, and Paul Luty immediately in front of him. So James Cole qualified 7th in class. Here's the view from Paul Luty again, who needs to try and get a few positions back. We'll see what Paul can do here as they come along the main straight. Lost a bit of position, makes one up there. Is he going to have a dive down the inside line? Luty is trying to squeeze through on the inside line of Adrian Ray, qualified 3rd in class. So Luty was 2nd in class. Jack Roberts, the pole position man here, and Ray is proving to be a difficult man to catch and pass. Race leaders down through Hollywood and into the Craner curves. We go once again on board with James Cole, who we saw was coming under a bit of pressure. Into the old hairpin, the most likely place where drivers tend to get done for track limits, as we go on board with Adrian Ray, and Paul Luty makes the move. Good move going up into Schwantz. Here's the view from Luty, looking back. Very good manoeuvre indeed. Is he going to run wide here on the exit? But no, I think he's okay. Luty hangs on to position. Sadly, problems for James Blake, who parks up, calls it a day. Someone who hasn't called it a day, though, is Paul Luty. All over the back of Andrew Rogerson, dives to the inside line, coming down into the Roberts chicane. Is he going to get the job done? Are they side by side? No, they're not. Rogerson was not defensive there in my book, and that was good driving from Rogerson. As you go defensive, you compromise your speed and maybe lose a bit of ground, but Rogerson didn't do so there. So Rogerson holds on. Here's the view looking back from Paul Luty. Adrian Ray, we saw Luty pass before the break, and Ray's getting back in the mix and tries the outside line here. Rogerson immediately in front. Where is Luty? Oh, he ran a little bit wide there, so Luty goes through. Simon Byrne is going to go through as well. But hats off to Adrian Ray for giving it a go. He's lost a little bit of ground on board with Doug Cole. This is the scrap for 2nd place, and he's going through. Ross Backer is passed. Ross Backer, who qualified on pole position, passed by Doug Cole. Doug was 4th at one stage, and now on a great recovery drive, he's up into 2nd place. His next target, therefore, is Graham Ross, the race leader, who's coming down to lap Joe Cruttenden, and we saw have that moment earlier on. Joe running in Class C. So we would expect to get into some lapping territory at some point. And Joe's passed either side by the race leader, Graham Ross, then by Doug Cole in 2nd position. Ross Backer still there in 3rd, not that far behind. The Class B battles headed at the moment by Jack Roberts, who's away clear of Paul Luty, who does a stunning move past the 13 car of Andrew Rogerson, who very nearly goes in the back. Luty likes that bit of track for passing. He's got it well sussed out. The exit of Schwantz up into McLean's, heading into Coppice where they are now. Goodness me. Someone trying little 2 cars off in the gravel. Wave green flags. They're going to make it through. The car they're chasing, the red 77 of Robin Walker, as you can see from the orange strip, is one of the Class A cars, the 190 brake cars. So he's going to, I think, be teeing up these Class B boys in front of him. Simon Byrne goes through shot. Some terrific racing going on. James Cole here is in the mix as well. And Cole trying to deal with Simon Byrne, thinking about that outside line at Redgate, but decides not to go wide. Grabs the apex on the inside, and a little bit wide from Byrne. Could lose momentum, and James Cole's going to try and squeeze through the 88 car. Side by side down the Craners. That's the adrenaline rush that they all come to Donington Park for. Meanwhile, Paul Luty is still there at the head of this gaggle. Cole on the inside line. Byrne has to cede the place, and they're going to be looking in the mirrors. Someone's kicked up a little bit of dirt. Looking in the mirrors for this man, Robin Walker, the Class A machine, the 190. So along Starkies. This is Schwantz, then the right-hander round into McLean's. Keep your eyes on the 77 car. Simon Burns got back in front of James Cole. Walker passes Cole. Walker now passes Byrne up the hill at the blind brow. And what a move by James Cole in the black and orange. Goes through, the door was open there. The work was done by Robin Walker. And James Cole had that sussed. He thought, I'll follow the Class A car through as the gap is there. Simon Byrne, though, we've already seen he's capable of coming back at him, although now we've got the 55 car of Tom Butler ahead of Simon Byrne, who clatters the curbs. So Byrne will have to regroup from that as we go back to the overall lead battle, Graham Ross, and it is a battle now because Doug Cole is very much on the case of closing down on him. Cole closing the gap, whether he's going to have enough time to completely catch and then of course work out how to pass the race leader is another matter, but either way I'm guessing a second position is not going to be too shabby in the opening of his championship defence. Here we go on board with Robin Walker, Adrian Ray immediately in front, the black and red car, the red machine of Walker goes through, makes a very neat pass indeed, and you can see Andrew Rogerson now immediately ahead, and ahead of him the black and yellow car of Paul Luty. Ollie Coles in 48, Andy Firth in 49. Now flash of black behind I think may well be the Class C leader, which is Matt Turnbull. Matt had some, it is indeed, because you've got the white visor on the car, the windshield sticker on the car, and Matt Turnbull is leading Class C, had a couple of second places last year, and he's running well here, had class pole, so could well be on his way to a class victory. As you go back to Robin Walker now chasing Paul Luty. Andrew Rogerson goes through, followed by James Cole and company still chasing hard. And James chasing Adrian Ray at the minute. Here's the view from Robin Walker, so Paul Luty will be passed here. This is for 7th place overall, and it means that Luty will no longer have a clear view, albeit a little bit in the distance, of Jack Roberts, who leads the class. Luty running second in Class B at the moment, and Robin Walker will try and close down on Jack Roberts, but he's running out of time to do that. Andrew Rogerson running third in Class B. Jason Burgess running well, he is in 4th position. Ross Macker immediately ahead of him, so Burgess having a good race, and then with a shout of the podium here as we go back on board with Doug Cole, who's caught the race leader. So Ross under pressure from Doug Cole, who's coming down the exhibition straight, goes wide. Cole, we know, he's not afraid to attack, looks at the outside line, lights ablaze from the chaser. That will not faze Graham Ross at all, but Cole is trying to go through, he's getting a little bit more momentum. He had a better run there out of the chicane, and they go side by side across the line, down in towards Redgate again. Here comes Cole, round the outside line, but Graham Ross doesn't want to cede the lead. On board again with Cole, Ross maintains the lead, great side by side stuff down the straight and into Redgate. Problems and a retirement for John Booth, who is out of the race. Doug Cole's got to regroup and fight again. I think the onboard camera probably accentuates the gap. You can see it's 2 or 3 lengths there, so Cole has got a little bit more work to do to try and close up. Gianni Piccioni in car number 5, chasing Ollie Hood. Gianni moving up from the C class last year, so the club seeing a lot of drivers, using that Class C to come in and then move up, passing there Tim Martin in Class C are the race leaders. So we did say that we'd get into back market traffic with some of those runners, and Doug Cole is having another look, but the way is blocked immediately in front unless he can side through on that. No, I thought he was going to go between the two, but Cole respects the fact that the race leader Graham Ross has got the line there. That was Paul Savage in the 23 car they were passing, but Doug Cole again frustrated in his attempts to go past. The way was blocked by the back marker, but he respected that, so hats off to Doug Cole for doing that. As we pick up on Adam Jackson in car number 79. Jackson is running just in the top 10 at the moment in Class B. Gianni Piccioni ahead of him in 9th place in class, so those guys having a super race. William Payne in the mix, as well as the 63 car of Ollie Hood. And the key thing here is just taking the fact that there are so many battles going on right the way down the order, whether you're in Class A, Class B, which is the biggest, best subscribed class, or indeed Class C, which still has 6 runners, despite the 7 runners in actual fact, despite the fact that drivers have moved on board with Cole, who's got a great run out of the chicane and goes through into the lead and passes Graham Ross going on to the last lap. Doug Cole's got the lead. Now, did Ross miss a gear? Because, well, clearly we saw Doug Cole have a very good run out of the chicane a couple of laps back. Seems to have got that sorted out. Maybe that's where he's been focusing his efforts. It doesn't look like the 92 Graham Ross has slowed particularly, and he's still there in second place, but Doug Cole has got the lead. He was down in 4th place at one time in this race after the start and has chipped away, and that's the mark, of course, of a champion, class champion from last year. Graham Ross is going to chase back though. Ross we have already seen do some passing in this one, and he won't be afraid to do the same thing again. Doug Cole out front, it is close, and Graham Ross might have a look. The back markers could possibly come into play as well. Through past the back marker traffic they go. Graham Ross still chasing hard. Doug Cole, the race leader. Blue flags there for the slower cars. So coming down into the Robert chicane, we're going to see a move from the 92 car. Graham Ross, I think, momentarily thought about it, but was perhaps a little bit too far back. This is where Cole has been consistently quick. Comes out of the chicane, and we'll see the checkered flag to win round 1. The College Motors MG Trophy outright win goes to Doug Cole. Graham Ross is in second place. We're on board with Jason Burgess chasing Ross Macker. That was very close indeed for third place. An overall podium very nearly going the way of Jason Burgess, but ultimately with Ross Macker. Doug Cole, though, it is that takes the win here at Donington. Cole winning from Graham Ross, Ross Macker, Jason Burgess, Gary Wetton. Class B to Jack Roberts, Robin Walker next, Paul Luty second in B from Andrew Rogerson and Adrian Ray. 11th place goes to James Cole, then Tom Butler and Richard Marsh, William Payne, Gianni Piccioni from Adam Jackson and Ollie Hood, Andy Firth next from Patrick Booth. Ollie Coles in 20th, 21st goes to Class C winner Matt Turnbull, congratulations to him. Then Paul Savage and Mike Harris, Andy Spencer second in C, then Phil Tomlinson, Tony Jones third in Class C, David Heisman, Joe Cruttenden and Tim Martin completing the finishers, and Doug Cole is with Barry.
Doug, what a fantastic opening to the season for you.
Yep, I do like Donington Park, and it's one of my favourite. Well, it's my favourite track after Alton Park. Always go well here. I wasn't worried, even though I made a bit of a faux pas at the first start. I wasn't worried because I knew I was quick, and I could get quicker and quicker, and I just loved Donington. And the car's mega. Had a brand new engine built by Paul Strother in the winter. It's had everything new apart from the crank. So we was pushing it today. And it's all been running properly, and it's all been tested properly for the first time in probably 5 years. So the car's had quite a bit of work over the winter, and yeah, it was worth that.
Graham, a great opening race there to the season. I thought you had that one.
So did I. You're not the only one. I selected 5th gear instead of 3rd out of the chicane on the last lap. I didn't know it was the last lap, and there was nothing you can do. I mean, Duke just came past me. He was gaining on me hand over fist. If I'd managed to hold him back, it would have been a defensive win. I'd have taken it no matter what. He was certainly on fire. But yeah, I would have liked to have won it. But there we go. That's the breaks.
Jack, 2017 season starts really well for you. On pole position for your class and a race win, so can't get better than that.
No, for sure. Really happy with that. Fastest lap too, which was a bonus. Good to get the extra point for fastest lap, and it was reasonably easy. So yeah, happy with that.
Is Donington a favourite track of yours, or is it just all coming together?
Last year got pole for both races actually, so no pressure going into qualifying this morning. But races broke down in one and just wasn't quick enough in the other. So yeah, I do enjoy the circuit. It flows nicely.
Paul, great to see you back on the grid this year. It's going to get more intense, I think, this championship for you because there's some newcomers, but second place, good start.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with second place. Yeah, it was. I saw Jack when I saw the chaos had kind of calmed down. Jack had a nice big gap. He'd done well, and there was no way I was catching him. He'd have to fall off or have a mechanical failure for me to get anywhere near him. So well done to Jack. But yeah, second, I'm chuffed. Good start.
So Andrew, great first race opener for the season for you here, and third place. So you must be pleased with that.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. starting 10th and coming through the field. I was in second. I felt like I was catching the leader, Jack, but just didn't have enough in me to go forward. I decided to give Paul an easy sort of pass just to see if we could go and catch him, and then I can sort of stay with Paul. So yeah, I sort of settled for third, but starting 10th and coming through. We had clutch issues this morning. The new clutch over the winter in it, but the clutch cable decided to destroy itself. So one of them things, but at least we got a third in the end.
Matt Turnbull, great race win there in the 160 class. That must give you good confidence as we go into start the season?
Yeah, definitely. It's the ideal start we could have only dreamed of last weekend. So yeah, it's a great race. Good to be here. The weather's nice as well, so that's always a bonus. So it's looking good.
One important point is you've just broke the lap record for your class, so that's another good positive.
Yeah, definitely. Going into this weekend, because Will, who won the championship last year, moved up to 170s, so he was my target really. I didn't want to win this year because he's moved up, so he's my target to beat his time. So we got that in qualifying and in that race, so very pleased with that, definitely.
So Gary, great to see you back on the MG Trophy Championship grid. Now, you used to do this a few years ago. I believe you went away, did the Cockshoot Cup, and now you're back again. So what's brought you back?
It's just a great championship to be in. I enjoyed it in 2009, 2010, 2011, but I changed cars and decided to do the Cockshoot Cup for a few years. And I got the ZR back, and I'm back doing the trophy now.
So since you've been away, things have developed quite a bit with the championship. There's more people on the grid. It seems to be more competitive, and sort of the racing seems to be intensified. So how have you found it in this sort of qualifying and first race out there?
Yeah, there's a lot more people on the grid now, and trying to get your space for qualifying is a bit difficult now. But yeah, the quality of the drivers seem really good, and yeah, really pleased.
So clearly you love racing from what you've done in the past. Are we going to stick with this now? Are we going to see you for most of the rounds?
Yeah, I'll stick with the trophy for the full season, and I'll do all the rounds, yeah.
Tom, another welcome return of a driver back onto the grid. Now, you were the MG Trophy Championship a couple of years ago. Took some time out, did some Clios, and now back again. So what's brought you back?
It's a really affordable way to get into car racing. And when I did it before, which came straight from karting, so the budgets are obviously quite a lot smaller. And we came in to do the MGs for a year and didn't actually spend much more than we did for a karting budget. So it was a really good step up from karting to do this.
Now the endurance fund is a key part, but having said that, first time you had a go at this championship, you did well. You're sort of second in class or third overall, so you're in the top league there. So is that the aim this year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we'd like to replicate what we did back in 2013. That was good. I'd like to think that some of the things I've learned whilst I've done Clios will help me come back and bring these across when I do the MGs again. But yeah, we'd like to be up at the front, taking a bit of getting used to the cars with the different tyres and manual gearbox and things like that without a diff. But yeah, we're getting there. We'll do a bit of testing, and then hopefully throughout the season we'll get back up there again and start winning some more races.
It is very good indeed to see Tom Butler back in the championship. He was third overall in 2013. Andrew Ashton, the winner of the 160 class, and overall Chris Bray second. Defending champion this year, as you've already heard, William Payne in number 7. William lines up down in 15th on the grid, 10th in class. There is Andy Spencer, and just coming into line, Jason Burgess, 6th in Class A. A fair way down the grid is Jason. He is 22nd, so we might see him doing a Robin Walker and coming through the field as this continues. Doug Cole and Ross Macker on the front row of the grid. Adrian Ray, Class B pole from Jack Roberts. Class C pole, Matthew Turnbull from Andy Spencer. Lights are on. Ross Macker seemed to anticipate the start very well indeed. So Ross Macker from the outside of the front row of the grid slots in indeed to lead position. It's Doug Cole second, Robin Walker at the moment third. No, he's not third, because up the inside line comes Graham Ross. Ross makes it up into third place. The 77 car is being hung out to dry and is passed by a couple more cars. Adrian Ray and Gary Wetton going through, and I think that's basically put Robin Walker down into 6th or 7th place. Here we go on board with Paul Luty. Luty qualified third in class behind Jack Roberts, and as you heard, Adrian Ray. So a battle resumption for those guys. Simon Byrne is in behind at the moment. Here's the view looking back from Paul. going up into Schwantz, but it's Ross Backer that leads this one. I wonder if we're going to see any double-class winners this weekend. Certainly we've got some very, very competitive racing in this College Motors MG Trophy meeting. So Backer the race leader from Doug Cole, but Cole coming under big pressure at the moment from Graham Ross. Outside line there for Simon Byrne. Luthi is on the inside. Here's the view from Paul Luthi, Byrne challenging him. Luthi looks both ways just to see who's on track around him, coming down into the Roberts chicane. And it's Byrne that gains that position. James Cole in the 88 machine immediately behind has a good run there out of the... I'll tell you what, James Cole, like Doug, very quick out of the chicane, particularly on that one, got a very good run. Got ahead of Simon Byrne. Paul Luthi's immediately ahead of him, and James, though, being forced to use the outside line, he's going to cut back in, grabs the apex. Good corner there by Paul Luthi, doesn't run too wide, maintains position, nips across, grabs the bit of track going through Hollywood, and coming down is a great view, back view, facing view for Paul Luthi. You don't see too many rear-facing onboards coming down through the crane of curves. That's a wonderful shot, really superb to see. And Paul Luthi has had a good run of this so far, but not having a good run is William Payne. The defending champion is the first retirement of race 2 of the meeting. That is a shame. We don't get too many returns. Think of the number of cars we've got in this championship, and very few retirements. So great driving standards and good preparation as well. Ryan Firth in the yellow 46, and we go back to 27 and 90. Tim Martin in 27, Joe Cruttenden. Those two dicing over 6th place in Class C. Puff of smoke out of the back of Cruttenden. Let's hope that's not a sign of bad things to come as they, as I say, battle over 6th position. Here is the view again, though, from the 77th machine of Robin Walker. Walker getting stuck into his racing, hasn't got as many Class B cars to have to deal with as we go on board with Graham Ross. Ross is passing Doug Cole coming down through the curves. Cole is on the outside line here and respects it. He can see the car coming up on the inside line, but there's too much momentum on the back end of the 92 car. Cole's off on the dirt. Well, they were both in different points of the race there, really, because the 92 car lost grip on the back end and Cole went wide and off onto the dirt. Effectively, the two moves cancel each other out, and Doug Cole stays in 2nd place. Luthi, meanwhile, is challenging hard here and looks to the outside line of Andrew Rogerson. Luthi doesn't care where he places the car. If there's a pass to be had, he'll do it inside or outside. And coming up the inside line now is Jack Roberts, who goes from 3rd to 1st. Roberts, great move by the driver of the 31 car. Now Paul Luthi, but Rogerson's wise to it and has teed up a very good exit of Coppice, coming down the exhibition straight. And Luthi, again, we heard these two drivers were talking about working with each other. Luthi goes down the inside line and reclaims 2nd position, with Rogerson now in the lead. Jack Roberts back in 3rd place. Jason Burgess, remember, has done very well indeed. Jason Burgess, 22nd on the grid. This is effectively the 2nd group of cars on track. So Burgess looking at the outside line, admittedly has more power, but he's still got to use that. Goodness me, Paul Luthi the meat in the sandwich. Burgess goes off, comes back on, using all the dirt, all of the exit road there. Jack Roberts still immediately behind us, and behind them, behind Jason Burgess, the man who started on pole position in class, Adrian Ray. So Adrian is 4th in class at the moment. Here we go back with the race leaders though, and Doug Cole goes for the lead, but Graham Ross spots a gap and fires his way through on the inside. 3 wide for the overall lead here. We're on board with Doug Cole, but Ross has come through. He's got the inside line. Ross Backer is on the outside, and Doug Cole here. Pick a line, Doug. Inside or outside? He goes for the inside. It's the outside for the 2nd part of the chicane. Bang! Into Ross Backer. Doug Cole winds up on the grass, keeps the momentum going, and they're side by side for 2nd position. That number 90 car, Joe Cruttenden, we said that might herald a problem. It looks as if that is the case. Here's the view from Jason Burgess. Jack Roberts immediately behind. Here we go across the line. goodness me, some superb racing here. Andy Spencer busy chasing Mike Harris. Andy Spencer was second in Class C in race number 1. Tony Jones completing the podium for Class C. Matthew Turnbull is still out front in Class C, the white sun strips. And you can see that Jason Burgess enjoying his race, but he wants to clear this group and, if possible, try and close in on the likes of Graham Ross, Ross Macker and Doug Cole up at the sharp end of things. But this is the battle for the lead in Class B as Jason Burgess tries to dive down the inside of Rogerson. Well, Jason Burgess has cleared the battle for Class B, which is going on here. Paul Luty looks at the inside line of Andrew Rogerson. Chasing him is Jack Roberts in number 31. So the Class A car should, in theory, now pull away. Luty's got the inside line, looking for the class lead, coming into the chicane here. He's going to go through, he does. But I tell you what, Rogerson was having nothing about it. He knew he'd lost the lead, but he did not want to cede second position. And Jack Roberts has got to try and get that back. It's so close between these guys. Here's Phil Tomlinson, followed by John Booth. Booth running in a podium position in Class C. So having a good run there. You do get to see the Class C cars mixing it with some of the guys in Class B, which is great to see. Tony Jones and David Heisman, these guys fighting over 4th place in class at the moment in Class C. Well, you can't tell that Heisman's in Class C because he's lost his windscreen. So I'm not quite sure how the aerodynamics work on that. I suspect there's probably a fair bit of turbulence going on. But at least we've got David Heisman out running and not overly far away from a class podium. Back to the race leaders though, and as you can see, it's Graham Ross from Doug Cole. What can Doug do about the race leader? He closed up on him in race number 1 and snuck through in the later stages. Are we going to see a repeat of that? Maybe a nail-biting finish. It's Tim Martin that they're closing up on, running 6th position in Class C. Backmarker driver, and has he seen the race leaders coming? Oh, probably at last knockings. And Ross and Cole make it past him safely. That's the difficult thing. It's not always easy, obviously, being at the front and having to negotiate backmarkers, but it's also very nerve-wracking as a backmarker if you've got a less powerful car, particularly when you get into the right-left situation of the chicane, which is where these Class B runners are coming up now. Where to place the car if you haven't got the experience of that. Thankfully, nobody too unsettled about that as we watch the 55 car. Tom Butler, the man we spoke to just before the start of the race, engaged with Gianni Piccioni, the black and green car. James Cole at the head of this group at the moment, but Simon Byrne goes for the burn up round the outside, and through on the inside line goes Ryan Firth, newcomer to racing, as you can see. So a great move by Simon Firth. I think Ryan Firth, I think he was one of the 2 cars that we saw going off at Coppice on the gravel in race number 1. The other one, I think, was Adam Jackson. If I work it out right, as Cole gets physical, going down into the old hairpin, grabbing the place back off Simon Byrne. Ollie Hood in the mix as well in red and black. Adam Jackson is in behind those guys. Superb racing here. Oh, goodness me! Ollie Cole gets swamped. James Cole gets swamped by 2 cars there. And I said an Ollie because it was 63 Ollie Hood who went through, with Simon Byrne in the mix as well, and James Cole will fight back. Adam Jackson is there, Gianni Piccioni is there as well, Tom Butler in 55 is there too. Black car at the back of the group, I suspect, is possibly Richard Marsh, the number 19. So they now come along exhibition straight. Cole and Byrne having a super race out of it. Ollie Cole's, I beg your pardon, get me Ollie's money, Ollie Hood in 63. Up ahead of these boys at the moment. Massive sort out going on for some serious points. Somebody who won't be scoring points is Paul Savage, who becomes the 3rd retiree of the race, joining Joe Cruttenden and early retirement Will Payne as we go on board again with Doug Cole. 2nd position for Doug. He's got some work to do going past the Jones and Heisman battle, and Heisman on the outside line at the moment. Doug wants them to get a move on. He's going to swoop round the outside, coming down through Hollywood and into the Craner curves. No problem at all for the 99 machine, but he's lost a little bit of ground. These two battling over third place in Class B. Adrian Ray started on pole position. Jack Roberts, the race 1 winner. It's Paul Luty out front in class at the moment, on his way maybe to first class victory of the year as we ride on board again with James Cole coming under pressure from the number 4 Simon Byrne, goes through. These two have had an absolute ding-dong in this race. Superb stuff from the pair of them. And Gianni Piccioni in black and green, moving up from the 160 class. And I think class is the word here on his debut. He's doing a great job coming down into Redgate, but James Cole having absolutely none of it. There is Ross Macker, he's running in third place, the man who started in second position on the grid in this one, pole position in race number 1. Doug Cole is second in this one at the moment. Could be even Stevens points wise between Ross and Doug Cole. Good battle going on though for fourth place. Gary Wetton holding sway at the moment over Robin Walker. Walker, who had to make good through the Class B cars in race number 1, something that we're seeing Jason Burgess do in this race. And Walker comes down on the outside line, side by side at the moment with Gary Wetton. You've got to be brave to try that line, but it doesn't work for him, and he'll tuck back in. Meanwhile, back to the race leader. Graham Ross is clear. Ross has got the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 21.179. Back to Walker and Wetton. Wetton out front in the white 22. They're getting into back marker territory as well, so keeping the mind on the battle that they're having, as well as trying to catch and pass the back marker traffic. The Class C cars and some of the tail end runners in Class B as well. They're coming through as we're in towards the closing stages now, onto the last lap of our College Motors MG Trophy meeting, and still again this battle for fourth position. Wetton holds on to it. They've only got 1.9 miles to go here. That's the distance of a lap around the national circuit here at Donington Park. Walker challenging Wetton very hard indeed. These two, I think, are going to have a chat in the bar about this race afterwards as Piccioni goes up the inside line on 63, Ollie Hood. It is Richard Marsh that's in the mix as well, but we're hearing that he may well have a time penalty for track limits. So Marsh may well finish a little bit further down than we're seeing him at the moment. James Cole, though, is running 7th in class. Simon Byrne having got the better of him, and ahead of them, Ryan Firth in the yellow car running 5th in class. Adrian Ray is now 4th behind Jack Roberts. Andrew Rogerson 2nd in Class B. Paul Luty is the class leader in Class B, but Robin Walker still looking for 4th place, as working his way through the traffic towards the checkered flag is Graham Ross, who's going to take it. Graham Ross passes Tim Martin for the second time, much less hassle getting past him this time, although very nearly the same point on the track. But our congratulations to Graham Ross, who takes the win. Here's the battle for 4th place between Wetton and Walker. Ahead of them, Ross Macker 3rd, Doug Cole in 2nd place. Gary Wetton, though, is going to take 4th from Robin Walker. Here's Paul Luty, a Class B win for him. 2nd place in race 1, and the win flashes the lights. Thumbs up from his pit crew. Andrew Rogerson finishes 2nd in class, but in Class C, Matthew Turnbull makes it a double. The only driver to take a double this weekend. He wins Class C with Andy Spencer, I think, coming home in 2nd place, but it was Graham Ross who took the honours in race number 2. There is Paul Luty, who took the class victory in Class B, and the 64 machine of Matthew Turnbull. Great start to his season, double win in Class C, and here's the overall result. Ross with Cole and Macker, Wetton and Walker, Jason Burgess in 6th, Paul Luty winning Class B from Andrew Rogerson, Jack Roberts and Adrian Ray. Then in 11th place it was Ryan Firth from Simon Byrne, James Cole, Gianni Piccioni, Tom Butler, Ollie Hood and Adam Jackson. Richard Marsh 18th from Ollie Coles and Andy Firth. Patrick Booth next from Matt Turnbull, who wins Class C. Mike Harris was next from James Blake, Andy Spencer and Phil Tomlinson. John Booth, David Heisman, and then Tony Jones and Tim Martin in 30th. Fastest laps, Ross, Robertson, Turnbull, and Baz is with Graham Ross.
No missed gears that time, was there?
There was one or two, but I'm not bothered boring you with the details. Further round the track, I missed them rather than selecting the wrong one. But all fell into my hands this time, and I'm delighted. I'm over the moon. I always wanted to win at Donny. It's one of my favourite tracks. So
it's first time, is it?
First win at Donington.
Wow.
And sort of, I don't know, 5 or 6 times I've been here. So really chuffed with it. Aye, delighted.
Doug, another great finish there. Bit of a reversal of the first race.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we had a great race. I mean, all three of us were on it, and I was actually keeping up with Ross quite happily. And then I got turned over by a couple of sets of back markers, but that's racing, unfortunately. The first one, he got past him at the chicane. He managed to squeeze through, and I tried to get through, and then he sort of gave me a smack in the side. And then I went down here, and there was the guy with no windows. They were racing. They'd driven their own race, and then there was two of them wide down the trainers, and then Graham's disappearing in the distance, and I'm going nowhere, and I'm looking in the mirror and Ross is catching, and I'm thinking, oh crap, no, come on. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we come back with no damage, second and the first pole, fastest lap. It's not too bad, is it?
Ross, great opening weekend for you in the 2017 season, 2/3.
Yeah, it was a really good race. Pole, obviously, in the first race. We couldn't follow it up with the win. We lacked a little bit of race pace. I can't be too hard on myself. We made the most of the situation. We were a little bit slow, but we had a great race and I really enjoyed it. It was really close, especially the first halves. A lot of dicing, a lot of interesting moves. So, no, it was really enjoyable.
First race cleared out the cobwebs. Second race, first place. Not bad a weekend.
Yeah, and do you know what I'm going to love the best about this is I get to tell the team, haha, I told you so. Regarding the old tyres, they all laughed at me. Said, "Get some tyres in that car." I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it.
So this was on the old tyres, was it?
Yeah, but actually, I think it kind of worked to my advantage.
Well, you won.
Well, no, but like at the end of the race, it looked to me that the guys behind were really slowing up, probably due to tyres going off. Okay, they're fighting each other, but I think the newer tyres are going off quicker.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for today, but we stay with the MG Trophy for our next edition of Last Lap, which comes from Brands Hatch. Please join us then.